Hello lovelies, I'm Christina and today I am giving you my January wrap-up and my February TBR. So the weird thing about January, it was not really, well, I wouldn't say it was a bad reading month. The thing is, I feel like I read a lot, but I have nothing to show for it. Which just comes to show that I'm in the middle of a lot of books right now, but I only finished 2 of them. But I'm gonna show you them anyways. Now the first book that I read in January is one that I read for my Exploring Erotica project and will be featured in the upcoming episode of that. The third one, I know it's been forever, but now I am finally doing the 3rd episode and it's coming out really soon. But that book was Henry and June by Anaïs. This is a story about Anaïs when she met Henry Miller, the author, and his wife. She then gets involved emotionally and sexually with both Henry and June. And it's an interesting read, but I feel like it was really repetitive and got a bit boring after a while. But still, it was interesting. I will talk more about this in the Exploring Erotica episode, but I ended up giving this 3 stars. The next book that I read was Secret Life of Cows by Rosamund. I went into this expecting a lot of like scientific work and that's not what I got. I mean, this is a cute book, don't get me wrong. It's about Rosamund who grew up on a farm. They decided to stop doing the big industrial farming and went to a smaller farm. They kept a lower amount of cows and goats and sheep and hens. And she then talks about the personality of all these animals they had on the farm, not just the cows. And it's very obvious that they have a lot of emotions. They are so smart, and for that I really appreciate this book. I think I just expected something more. I expected to be wowed by science and about research around the psychology of cows and animals, but it wasn't really that. Still, cute, interesting read, but it didn't live up to my expectations, so I ended up giving it 3 stars. So that's really it for what I can show for my reading in January. It's these 2 books. So yeah. So let's jump into the books that I plan on reading this month. So the first book that I had on my TBR for February is one that I actually finished a couple of days ago, and that is The Loney by Andrew Michael Hurley. I have a full review of this on my blog, so I will link that down below so you can go check it out if you want to. It is a story about 2 brothers. One is mute and the other one is sort of his protector, and they've grown into having this really close relationship where they can communicate in a way even though the brother is mute. They visit this sacred shrine every year trying to ask God to help heal the mute brother and make him normal again. It is a story about everything that happens at this place where they go. There's a lot of creepy events going on, some weird people lurking around, and it says something like no one goes near the water, but they do. Many years later, a child's body is found, and then a lot of the old secrets resurfaces, and yeah. So that's pretty much the story. I will do a in-depth review of this in my next wrap-up. But yeah, that was the first book that I planned on reading in February. Now I can check that off the list. Now the next book is one that was sent to me by a Norwegian publishing house, and it is this one. In Norwegian it says Kittyrapporten en Lærling, which, if I'm going to translate it, it's the Kitty Report, #1, The Apprentice, and it's by Anonymous. This is an erotica novel, so this one hopefully will also be featured in the Exploring Erotica project episode 3. But it is a story written by some famous Norwegian apparently, but we don't know who. We don't know if it's a man or a woman, but it's a story about a divorced man and him getting in contact with Kitty online, and Kitty sends him on all of these sexual challenges for him to be prepared for them to one day meet as equal sexual partners. I started this yesterday, I think it was, and I'm already about 60 pages in. It's really interesting so far, and I actually do like the writing, so maybe this is one that will actually go down as a good Norwegian erotica novel. I would love to see that, but I will talk more about it later on. Next one is a book that was sent to me by the author, and that is The Coyote by Stephen Georgiou. I am so sorry if I'm butchering your name. So Stephen sent me an email asking me if I wanted to read and do an honest review of his book, and of course I said yes. It sounded really cute and interesting and inspiring. I will read you the back. Many years ago, a young coyote named Rocky was a confident, fearless animal who lived in a mysterious desert. But as he grew up, due to his father's strict ways and conditioning, Rocky changed into a cowardly, miserable coyote. Time passes, and now a shadow of his former courageous self, dangerous times have occurred as evil wolves take away Rocky's family. So it is up to the now cowardly coyote, along with his loyal lizard friend, to venture across the treacherous desert to save his kind and discover the destiny along the way. A motivational and heartwarming tale portraying that who we really are deep down is incredibly powerful, and through great adversity you can accomplish almost anything. I'm really looking forward to diving into this. I just want to say thank you to Stephen for sending this my way. I will talk more about this in my next wrap-up. Now the last one I want to get to is, yeah, it is a Stephen King novel. Well, it is a Stephen King short story collection. I have not read Stephen King in a little while, since December I think, and I'm feeling the craving, so I have to jump into it. And I showed this book off in a haul, I think it was, and it is this one, the Bachman books, 4 early novels by Stephen King, which has Rage, which is a novel that is no longer being printed. My wonderful follower Alex Ochoa sent this to me a while back, and still so grateful. Thank you, Alex. I will try to get to this month. If not, then March is gonna be the month where I read this finally. So there you have it. Those were the books that I read in January and the books that I plan on reading this month, and I'm very excited about all of them. Maybe mostly because I feel like the reading month of January was kind of mediocre. It was just 2 3-star books. I'm hoping that the books for February is going to be a bit more enjoyable than the books for January. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And I will see you in my next video soon. Goodbye!